Welcome to the Mother Daughter-ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Angelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today.
Hey, mothers and daughters. Back again. I am going to do as many shows as often as I can just to get information out from conversations that I have so very often with friends and associates and family and different people. And I just had such an amazing conversation with a cousin of mine, and he was talking just about, the method in which and way he wants to grow his business and what he's trying to impart into his employees so that they can get to the vision of how he wants to grow his business. And so I was just thinking about, when you're earning your money, how many different ways you can earn your money. Because, yesterday we talked about, and I keep saying because I'm assuming you've listened to some of the other shows that I've been producing in the last couple of days. But we talked yesterday about your budget and that guess what? It's not too late. You have until the weekend before it starts to get messy. You know what I mean? Like, if you do your budget by this weekend, you're caught up for the year. But if you wait until February or March, you're not going to remember your expenses. You may remember your income, maybe. But if somebody pays you in cash and you get cash all day long, you may not keep track of it. And after 30 days, come on, the waters get muddy. So anyway, after this conversation I was having today, I was just thinking about business and entrepreneurship and people's careers and things like that. And I wanted to just tell you today what the highest paid careers are. And then I'm going to tell you what I think ultimately the best career is when it comes to money. And then I'm going to tell you why. Okay? So listen to what I'm going to tell you about the highest paid careers and what income potential there is. Now, keep in mind, just like a few podcasts ago, I talked about retirement funds, what you'll need to be able to retire. I also talked about your budget and then just income that's coming in. So keep all of that in mind as I'm talking. But then also we talked about earnings per state, and I went through all 50 states. So as I'm talking about this, I want you to just keep in mind that it's going to be subjective depending on what state you are in. So, to keep you from saying, well, in Oklahoma, we're able to earn, this, or in Texas, we actually could do this or whatever. I get it. I get it that in different states, you're going to be able to earn more. Okay? In different countries, you're going to be able to earn more or less. So I'm just giving you kind of a generic potential. Okay, let's get started. Healthcare jobs. Now, I'm going to go over jobs. Healthcare jobs, you can earn up to $267,020 depending on your position. If you're an RN, an LPC, if you're a doctor, dentist, your earning potential is up to $267,020. I had somebody tell me that that's really not a lot of money because their school debt was over $500,000. And so if they bring in $267,000 as a dentist, and that has to take care of all of the expenses and employees, that then the dentist probably may not make as much money depending on how the billing is going, And I don't know what the reimbursements are from the DSMR, healthcare book for them to get reimbursed. But anyway, healthcare jobs, and I guess you'd have to figure out where you fit in the healthcare industry to earn that kind of money. I'm not talking about someone who answers the phone for the clinic or the hospital, or I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about really significant licensed positions. Petroleum engineering. Now, I've been told by maybe about 4 people that engineering is really the way to go if you're looking at longevity in careers, if you're looking at scientific type careers, if you're looking at where we're going in the future. Like, for example, with the STEM program, it's science, technology, engineering. They've added the A back to it, which is the arts part. and then math. So engineering is a part of STEM, and so I'm assuming that's why when they say engineering jobs, you can go so many vast ways. This one is particularly in petroleum engineering, which has to do with the oil industry and things like that. So you know your salary can be up there, but it's $156,370. Okay, that's the earning potential for that one. And I'm going from top tier down, and this was listed, by the way, from the Workforce Commission. Yes, I do research. I don't just throw numbers out there. I actually will look up something that I'm in. I'll have a conversation about something. I'll look up the information. I'll look at maybe 10 sources, gather me a list, and say, you know what, this would be a good topic for the Mother Daughter Ish podcast. IT managers. Now, you know, with the way we're going with AI and where we're going with IT, which is information technology, or you can even say internet technology. You can call that IT, whatever you want to call it, but it's information technology, which is how we crawl around on the World Wide Web. But an IT manager can earn up to $152,860. I don't know if you have seen lately, but I've seen certain certificates that you can get remotely that can get you to that salary. And those certificates, you are not in school for a long time. Podiatrist, that's a foot doctor. Potential is up to $148,220. I think that potential can be even higher if they partner with the right other doctors to get those referrals sent over there. And then once they put those places in the different communities and they market to diabetics, because they need to go to podiatrists because they have a specialization that they do for them. And depending on how they market it to their niche group, I think that 148,220 could really be up there with healthcare jobs with the 267,000, my opinion. Marketing manager, $157,240. A marketing manager is the person that gets your end vision to materialize through the marketing that needs to be done so that people can make you discoverable. Just literally, I'm telling you, I was having this conversation today with my cousin about his marketing tactics and things like that, adding in specialty things like a podcast to his venue that he has. Just, we talked about probably like 5 different things, but my point is that if you can help someone to market their business and get them the clients that they need, their money goes up and so does yours. Marketing managers, again, can earn up to $147,240. Financial managers, or if you want to call them financial planners, it doesn't matter, but financial managers, earning potential is up to $146,830. Financial managers are very, very, very important because they help you with your finances so that you can have a great living. But then by them earning money, they're going to have a great living as well. So they can kind of be the living proof of someone who's financially stable. I like it. A pilot. I was a little disappointed with the pilot one. And I'm going to tell you the reason I was disappointed is because I'm drinking water. The reason I was disappointed with it is because I feel like they should earn more. I feel like the pilot should be up there with the $267,000 just because. But by the way, let me say let me give you the amount and let me tell you why I feel like this is too low. They earn under what an engineer earns, under what an IT manager earns, under what a podiatrist earns, under what a marketing manager earns, under what a finance manager earns. They can earn up to $146,660. If you took $146,830 and divide that by how many souls they protect every day. So let's say they fly back and forth 3 times within that day with 150 passengers on board. It's just no value that you really can put, in my opinion now, for a pilot. I think their income should be limited. Because if I'm flying with you and I'm feeling safe, I'm coming back. If I'm flying with you and I'm an airline stewardess and our crew is awesome and we're safe and we can go home to our families, I'm going to keep this job. You know, there's too many souls' lives at stake on a daily basis for the earning potential to be only $146,660. I would be happy if they were in the $500,000 range. And I know you probably are saying, like, well, how would they do that if it's a company like Spirit, who, when we get a ticket through them, we barely give them gas money? I think the company should figure it out without having to pass the cost on to us. They just have to figure it out. And there are ways that they can figure it out. Lawyers and attorneys can earn up to $144,230. And we're talking general here, guys. We are not talking about the celebrity people, because there are celebrity IT managers, there are celebrity podiatrists, there are celebrity marketing managers, there are celebrity financial advisors and managers, there are celebrity lawyers. We know this. I'm just talking about your average ESQ lawyer, maybe right out of school, 3 years in. You know what I'm saying? Something like this. So $144,230. Sales managers can earn up to $140,320. Now, this is a list I got from 2023, so this is not an old, pre-pandemic. This is right now, 2023, which we're only out of for 3 days, so it's still safe to say these were the monies for last year that were only 3 days ago. Sales manager, again, $140,320. Business ops manager, so that's like the business operations manager. That's someone who runs the day-to-day operations of the business, so that the owner does not have to be there with the menial tasks, but that the owner can be out growing the business, promoting the business, bringing on even more staff. The business operations make sure that everybody that's an employee under them is doing their part, so that the machine works like a well-oiled machine. So they can earn up to $123,880. So that is a great earning potential. I think that once they take on more load, the plans work out, the strategic plans work, they can even earn more. But that's just basic. A pharmacist, $123,670. I know a lot of young pharmacy techs and pharmacists, and they've gone through the courses. I know CVS has an amazing pharmaceutical training that they do, and then once you get your training, your certification through them, you can then move on and go up the ladder from there, and maybe work in a hospital, work for a private compound pharmacist, or work for your Walmarts, your Costco's, whoever you want to work for. Or if you want to be really, really, really bold and awesome, you could work and create your own pharmacy company as well. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But again, $123,670 is not bad. They're earning the same amount of money as a business operations manager. I don't like that. I think that when it comes to the business ops manager and the pharmacist, I think the pharmacist should earn a little bit more, like in the 200 range. Just my opinion. Now listen, everything I'm saying right now is just my opinion, and I'm giving you my opinion from me knowing people in these industries. I'm giving you my opinion from me being around these individuals. I'm giving you my opinion from just 30 years of being in the business, of seeing what people are doing, and just having conversations with people and actually looking at what some of these day-to-day tasks are to get the jobs actually done and done properly. So that's where my opinions come from. And last on the career list, before I give you my real opinion and final career mastermind, a financial advisor can earn up to $121,770. Now, mothers and daughters, you may be saying, well, what's the difference between a financial manager and a financial advisor? A financial manager is someone who manages somebody's finances, or manages maybe the finances of a company department, or over a project management team or something like that. But a financial advisor is the person that you go to when you say, and just like I told you the other day with the retirement show, that's the person you would go to and you would inform them that, hey, I think I want to retire in 10 years. Here's where I am in my company or my business, what I'm earning. Here's what I've put aside in my 401k or in my personal savings. I want to be able to bring in this particular type of income and be able to live my next 25 years, because, okay, I'll be 50 at that point, and life expectancy is about 75, 85. How can I live comfortably Maybe I'll start a little side hustle. We talked about that just yesterday. Maybe I'll start a little side hustle, and then that money can really be saved. Maybe I'll invest and, have more money coming in than going out. So a financial advisor gives advice and would give you the advice to tell you what would be smart for you to be able to move the way you want to move. And when I say the way you want to move, I say the way because whether it's through business, whether it's through starting your own business or continue to work a 9 to 5 till you regularly retire, or if that means, something different for you depending on what you want your life to look like is what it rounds down to. Now, for the finale. Yes, I'm excited. I'm rubbing my hands together because I'm so excited. And I could talk about this topic all day long, but I promise you, I will not do it. The final career, in my opinion, and on this written statement that I Googled and got information, I asked all the AI software. I went everywhere looking for what I was looking for. I'm telling you, I went to 10 different resources. I went to 3 AI resources. I went to Google. I went to Bing. I went so many places down a true rabbit hole. I went to companies that do like the little survey. I looked. Workforce committee. I looked. The unlimited potential income is gonna come from being a business owner. Okay. Let me tell you why. Let's not fight. We're not gonna fight. We're not gonna hem and haw. We're not gonna go The reason why the unlimited potential income from being a business owner is because everything is going to depend on your marketing strategy. Everything is going to depend on what it is that you're offering. And if it solves a problem, you're good. Don't even worry. Okay? It's going to depend on your personality, meaning are you a happy person? You know how to get out there and you know how to network, or if you're a recluse and you like to stay in and you just want to click behind a computer and market that way, whatever works. But your income unlimited potential is going to come from those actions. And now that I said the word action, I also want you to know that what you do or what you would do or what you will do on a daily basis, that's going to determine how you get to write your own, for lack of better words, paycheck. I don't like the word paycheck, so that's why I said lack of better words. But my point is, I'm going to give you a scenario here, and I'm going to walk you through it so that I can break it down so simple so it doesn't sound like I'm being arrogant professionally. Okay. Business owner since 1995, so anything I say can and may be held against me as being professionally arrogant, so I accept it if that's how you feel. But let's just say you had a mechanic shop. And let's say you started the mechanic shop as a mobile business first. And your mobile business was listed online to let people know who they can call. Because I remember one time I was looking for a mobile mechanic because my daughter's Mini Cooper had stopped on us in Austin. And I needed a mobile mechanic to come and change a spark plug for us so we could drive it back home. And I just went on Google, started interviewing people. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I went with the guy that was the most concerned about my problem. The one who told me what his solution could be. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what time will you be back here in Austin since you live in Katy? Okay, where's the car parked at? Okay, do you want me to pick up the spark plugs for you, or are you going to bring the spark plugs for me? What type of car exactly is it? What model, make, year, all of that? I went with that one. The other people I called, they were like, I'm too busy. I don't have time. Yeah, I'm in the Austin area, but, what it boiled down to is it was too small of a job for them. It was an $80 job, okay? Now, we tipped, but the people who didn't even give us a chance to even tip them. But it boiled down to this mature man. And the reason I'm calling him mature is because I can't say young man because he was my age or older. But what boiled down for him was everything that I just said to you, that he cared about the problem. He came with a solution for the problem. He gave me a fair price. He even went a step above. When we met him, he made us feel very safe. He popped the hood. He popped out the spark plugs, popped in the right spark plugs, and went on about his business. You understand? It was great. Let's say you start a mobile mechanic shop. You do all of the wonderful things that this gentleman did. Your business gets so big that you decide you're going to train some other people to do this mobile business. Because now you want to get a brick and mortar location. Because you've decided you want to get some contracts. You're going to contract with AAA and everybody that's their competition. You're going to, and I mean that. You're going to contract with companies who have what they call a fleet. I love that word. They have a fleet of automobiles. You're going to put your name on every resource that has to do with people looking for companies. You're going to make sure you're set up on Yelp and everything else, which is the reason that maybe you wanted to get a brick and mortar, so that you could get that clear identity on Google reviews and Yelp and all of these, 50 other places or whatever. Get yourself registered and signed up. You want to get yourself registered on Alexa and everything, so that when Sally goes to her Alexa and she says, Alexa, where's the nearest mechanic that can fix a Mini Cooper or a foreign car? And I don't know how Alexa works because I don't want that spy in my house, but maybe Alexa says, oh, Billy Bob's mechanic shop on 3rd Street can help you with that. Should I dial that number for you? I don't know how Alexa works, but that's how Siri on the phone works, okay? So now you have 3 mobile mechanics out doing the work you used to do, but you've trained them. So what you did is you just gave 3 people an opportunity to grow a business with you. You now have your brick and mortar business. So now you're writing yourself 3 paychecks. There's that word again. And you're earning a paycheck salary from the brick and mortar. So now your family gets to enjoy 4 income potentials from you. Because you decided that 1 paycheck could be 4. And so now you decided, instead of writing yourself 1 check and calling it whatever you want, that you wanted to call and make a bigger deal. That's what I mean by what you do in your business is going to determine your unlimited potential income, okay? I know what I'm talking about. Let me tell you how. When I decided back in the 90s that I wanted to start a business, the first ever business I started was, I had a daycare center in my house. It was a 24-hour daycare called Delightful Days and Nights, registered and all. After I got the daycare, nobody told me nothing. After I got the daycare and I looked at the one income I had was the tuition that the parents were paying, of course, for the kids to come to the center. It was in my house. But I treated everything like it was bustling center, commercial, whatever. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. So your one thing is everything. My point on that is, don't half step. If you started a business from your house or a mobile business, treat it like it's a traditional commercial business, okay? I started the daycare in my home because the reason I left corporate America is because I decided in my head at 20-something years old that I wanted to be home when my kids went to school, and I wanted to be home when they got out of school, okay? That was important at that time, and it remained important, which is why I never went back. Typically, when I make really, really important decisions to walk away from something or someone, I don't go back. It's just in my nature. It's the way I'm set up. It is what it is, as the young folks say. Started my daycare center, regular daycare, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. It was traditional. Everybody was doing it. I jumped on the bandwagon of being traditional. And then I woke up one day and said, I don't want to be traditional anymore. What can I do to bring in more money in this daycare? Nobody told me that if you have a daycare and you're licensed and registered, that you could get on this thing called a food program. I already had my daycare half a year and just found out about the food program because nobody told me nothing. This was all just an idea from my head. When I went to my job and I said, where can I go from here? I've gone from being a customer service representative to a customer service supervisor to a call center supervisor to training. Where can I go from here? And they said, nowhere. You're at the top of where we can get you here, or you can go to finance if you want. And I knew that I did not want to work with numbers every day that were on paper. If it was dollars and I was counting money, I'd have been gung-ho for it. But I knew that I did not want to sit in front of a computer and work on numbers and just sit on my behind for 8 hours. I knew that wasn't in the potential idea for me. So I wrote my resignation letter that day. I put it in my drawer that I kept locked at my desk, and I left it there until I got my master plan together, which was figuring out how to get my child care center registered, how to market to the clients that I was looking for, how to get an income that would take me from there. It didn't have to be the one that I had at my job, but it needed to be one that was going to be comparable for me to be able to live off of, okay? So I found out about this food and nutrition program, and that brought in the second income. Now I'm going to not call it paycheck, I'm going to call it income. So that became a second income. And then I found out that just because they tell you can have 12 children in your home, that's in Texas, by the way, you can have up to 12 children in your home. I thought to myself, well, but I have kids that come at nighttime. I have more parents that are single parents working 2 and 3 jobs, and they don't have anywhere safe that they can have their kids spend the night. And let me tell you, we had a daycare that was a 24-hour daycare, but the people were so mean. And the reason I know this is not something I heard, this is what I know. Listen, when I worked in corporate America, one night they asked me to work until 10 o'clock at night, and I had to take my kids to the daycare. I had only 2 little ones at that time, but I had to take my 2 kids to that daycare for like 3 times because you could do walk-ins. You didn't have to be like a full-time member or whatever you want to call it. I took my kids there, and when I walked in the door, this lady was dogging this child. She was talking to him, told him he wasn't going to be nothing. He wasn't about nothing. That, you know, your folks ain't nothing. And I walked in and just stood there and watched because all I could think of is if I see you talk to my child like that, it's up and it's going to be stuck. And I would have had that song way before Cardi B because I would have created it right then. She looked over at me and she knew she was wrong for what she done. Now, she's from a different country, so I don't know. Maybe they do it like that over where she was from. I got my kids, and I never took them back there again. And anytime they asked me to work at nighttime, which was very, very, very rare, I just either wouldn't do it, or if I could find somebody in the family or a friend or somebody like that, or my cousin or somebody could babysit for me, you know. But I never did have to do that again. And so I understood why the people in my community did not want to use that 24-hour daycare, because the people just were not nice to the kids and talked down on the kids and treated them like they were just horrible people. And kids remember that. My son just told me a couple of weeks ago that the nanny that I used to have for them, because I traveled a lot when my kids were little, the nanny that I used to have for them, she told him that he was never going to be an artist, that he would never be paid, and that drawing thing was just, you know, something he was doing as a kid. And he told me that. I wish he would have told me that when they were going to her, because I would have removed them from there. Because if somebody's going to talk to you like that, that just tells you a lot about that person. But I don't have any respect for somebody that would tell a kid there, because you don't know what their potential is. And I think that hindered him a little bit in the amazing art that he does as an anime artist and manga artist and all of that. But back to the story. Income number 1 was my child care income. Income number 2 was my food and nutrition reimbursement income. And income number 3 is that I got this wild idea that to be a 24-hour daycare, then that means that I could have kids at nighttime. So I had children in the morning, and then the ones that went home by 6 o'clock. I had kids that came in after 7 o'clock that would stay until 7 o'clock the next morning. I get them ready, get them dressed, get them to the bus stop, or get them to school, drive them to school, or whatever the parents required. Or sometimes, like I had some parents that would work for FedEx overnight. They get off work at 6, they'd be by here to get their kids at 7 o'clock or 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. Their kids would already be dressed, fed, teeth brushed, so all the grooming would be done. Their backpacks, homework was already done the night before when they came here. All kids under 18 in this house had to be in bed by 7:30 and sleep by 8. No ifs and buts. I don't care who your mama is. If you're here, that was your time. So I was very strict, and whatever I did for my kids, I did for the kids that were in my center. So it was all worked out great. So that was the third income. And then right before I bought my house, I had to get rid of 16 credit cards. So I had to clean up my credit, pay off those cards, and I did a really excellent job. And the lady that helped me buy this home, Miss Pat, she said, I really like the way you did your credit. She was like, you are a negotiating sister. She's like, for example, you owed Cons like $1,500 and they let you pay them off with $126. They understood she's a single mom. She's newly divorced. She's buying her first home. She's had all these credit cards since she was 16, never defaulted on them. And she just wants to get rid of them. And she doesn't make the money that she makes, to be able to do, because I was still working in corporate America, one income is all I ever thought about, because that was the way the mind is trained when you have a traditional mindset and you do what the world tells you you're supposed to do. Long gone are those days that I will ever conform to that again. But Miss Pat said, I really like the way you did your own credit. She's like, would you do that for my first time home buyer and clients? I said, well, sure. But I get to charge them whatever my fee is. She said, well, here's what we're going to do. When they come to me and they want to buy their homes, first-time home buyers only, that's a niche. Again, I'm niching it down. First-time home buyers only. When they want to buy them homes, I'll send them to you. She said, we're going to put an agreement together that just once you help them get their credit finished, your agreement with me is that you send them back to me. I said, yes, ma'am. And I understood why she did that, because sometimes you got a friend or somebody and you do their credit and y'all become friends and you say, well, what's Miss Pat fee? Oh, she want that much money? Well, so-and-so won't want anything. They'll take their money from the bank. So I get why she did that. And I love that she did it, because it taught me just to be even more disciplined and honest and forthright with people that I'm working with, because my experience has been that a lot of people don't follow through. They'll get excited. They'll work on some things. When they see that it's not immediate money, they back off. They don't stay for the long haul. Because my experience has been quick money goes quick. You earn it quick, it goes quick. I don't want any parts of that. I'm not interested in it. I'm a marinator. Let it marinate until it materializes. And once it materializes, then we all win. That's my process. I may just be different and weird. I love it here. So then once that income came in, number 4 was I was doing side hustle. We talked about that yesterday. The side hustle was credit repair, helping people to get into their first time home. So I was doing credit repair. And then I'm on my computer. I was trying to mind my business, and Holy Spirit said, nope, we're going to be nosy, because I need you to know what I need you to know. I'm not going to tell you why, but you'll figure it out way much later. Truth here, 28 years later, that statement is true. Next, I was looking into grants and all of that, and I thought grants were for everybody. I had to learn the hard way, like most people, that grants are not for everybody. Grants are not for too many for-profits. There's a handful, and when I say that, I'm literally cupping my hand. There's a few grants out there that you can get for a for-profit, but they're so super competitive. Don't get me wrong, nonprofit grants are competitive too, but they're niched down to the point that you could be applying for contracts that only maybe 2 of you apply for. This just happened to me last year, so I know what I'm talking about. Okay, let me just make this very clear. If I'm talking to you about something, if I'm sharing something with you, if I'm educating and informing you, it's because I've been there and done it. It's because I've seen it firsthand. It's because I know what I'm talking about, because I've tested and tried it, and it's either true, and I'm going to share it. So this is where my knowledge comes from. So anyway, then I did my own nonprofit paperwork. I was doing my own grants and contracts. At that point, I decided I wanted to actually be a food and nutrition sponsor. Once I got my 501c3 approved, I had people asking me. So what I did is I said, okay, well, I'll do yours for free. I did it for free because I wanted to prove to myself I knew what I was doing. Then they would bring me somebody, and I said, I'll do yours for free. I needed like 5 tried and true clients that could give me great testimony, so I did their work for free. I wasn't doing it to the magnitude of what I learned to do, but I was just doing the paperwork for them, and then they could figure out the rest from, either asking me questions or getting their own knowledge. And most people I deal with, they will hustle and get out and get their own knowledge. They won't depend on you to spoon feed them every little thing for their life. That's crazy. So that turned into a consulting business. So you see how I took one thing for myself that led me to business ownership and entrepreneurship and turned it into multiple, 1, 2, 3, 4, multiple, 5, 6, multiple incomes. Okay? That is the example I just gave you about the mechanic shop. He wrote his own paycheck the first time. Then he wrote another paycheck and another and another and another. So then once you do that, you know for a fact you've proven to yourself that your income potential is unlimited. The follow through and the discipline that it takes to get there, yes, I admit it's not easy. And nobody cares about your business like you care about it. I don't care if you sign paperwork and they say they're going to partner with you. If it's your brainchild and it comes from your brain, I promise you they don't care. Because it wasn't their brainchild. That information that was downloaded to you was not downloaded to them. It was given to you, and then your job was to bring in soldiers to help you to grow it. If they see the vision. If they don't see the vision, walk away from them. And either go on your own or find people that when you say 1 or 2 keywords, they catch the vision, they grab right a hold to it, and they ready to move forward with you, rain, sleet, or snow. That's my show today on the highest paid careers. Again, I'm in favor of business ownership, entrepreneurship, small business ownership. I'm in favor of unlimited potential income. I'm in favor of writing your own paycheck. I heard this thing years ago that said a job means J-O-B, just over broke. Okay? I also heard this thing, I know that is very cynical, but I warned you before I even started this. And I told you where I come from on it and my stance. I also was told that a job, basically a 9 to 5, helps you to forget what your true potential is. And if you don't understand what I mean by that, is if you get up at 7 o'clock in the morning so that you can be to your job at 9 o'clock in the morning, you get off your job at 5 o'clock in the evening, and you get home at 7 o'clock in the evening, your entire day is gone. By the time you get a bite to eat, it's time to go to bed. If you don't go to bed and you decide to do something for yourself and you go to bed at 10, you're going to wake up tired anyway. So where did you have time to work on multiple streams of income, work on developing a small business? Now, I'm saying this providing that you're not cheating at your 9 to 5 job and working on your things while you're there on their clock, because that's called theft of time. Do not do that. It's not right and it's not fair. And the reason I'm telling you that is once you start your business, if you decide to do that, if you do it to other people, someone is going to do it to you. I'm going to just also leave this show with just asking you to be sure and be clear about what it is that you want to do. Don't join in on other people's vision if you don't think you can see it through. It's not fair to them to waste so much time with you and listening to the growth of everything if you are not going to move forward with it. You should know this before you agree. And if it gets too far before it gets to the end of it, go to that person before that person has to come to you. Because every single time I've ever had any kind of business partnership, and I'm big on noticing when people's energies change, and I have to always be the one to say, hey, what's really going on? I have never had any business associate or partner come to me and say, hey, let's have a conversation about this and see if we can make any changes. And if not, then I may have to go do my own thing. I have every single time had to go to someone and say, hey, something has changed. What's going on? What can we do about it? and they have reasons that they want to bow out, but I don't find out until after their decisions in their heads have been made. And then they want to tell me a lie. And it's crazy to me. And it's just so, it's ridiculous. But it also reminds me why I hear a lot of people say, yeah, I have my own business and I'd rather make less income than to deal with people who don't follow through and help me to build what I'm building. Because I realize that only I care about my business. And I'm so glad that they know that. Because there's so many people in business today that don't realize that nobody cares about your business. Nobody. So what? You have a soap company, so what? You have a vision to grow a hair company, so what? Nobody cares. And if you're not going 50-50 percentage with them, even I went 50-50 with a couple of people when I should not have. And they still walked away and said they didn't want to do it anymore because it was too much work, or I should, get my own company and do my own thing. They learned everything they needed to learn, and then they walked away with all the knowledge and all of that, which I'm so happy they did that, because it makes me better, it makes me bigger, it makes me more powerful, it makes me more empowered, it makes me happier to not be around fakeness. So when you start your business, if you decide to do your unlimited potential income, business ownership, all I say is make sure you're around the right people that really, really, really catch the vision, and not those who on the surface think that something's going to happen real quick. But the highest paid income on this list, other than entrepreneurship, is going to be in the healthcare field. I think that we know that simply because of coming through the pandemic and seeing how those were considered essential workers. But guess what? Small business owners are essential as well. Listen, the Daiquiri Hut by me was opened the whole pandemic. If they can be essential, so can I. That's my show for today on the highest paid careers, with the leading career being unlimited income potential from business ownership. I got some good stuff coming for you this year. I got great shows. I got more shows. You're going to see my face on the next few shows, because, yeah, I'll do a mixture of both. I'll do visuals. I'll do PowerPoints. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll do interviews, whatever it takes to help you to increase whatever it is that you are doing, ladies. Remember, this show is for every woman on the planet. Okay? So we're going to talk about personal things. We're going to talk about professional things. We're going to talk about opinions on things. We're going to debut people's businesses. We're all over the place with goodness. And I'm loving it. Again, I love it here. That's my show for today. Bye.